Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you. Hey there, Joshua Hanlon here at BrickFair Chantilly, and we've got this massive LEGO Star Wars Citadel collaborative layout. I've got the builders with me here if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Liam.
And I'm Jared.
Okay, and if you want to give us an overview of what this depicts?
Yeah, so this map is the Rhen Var Citadel. Last year we did Rhen Var Harbor, so this is the other map from the Battlefront 2004 game. So different styling, more building focused, less open space, but we went with the Phase 2 clones. In the Xbox Live patch, you could actually, with Battlefront 2, play with those style of clones. So we went for a different style of clone, but the original map, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to build, a lot of fun to display all the clones from the new battle packs. So had a lot of battle packs purchased, and that helped to set us up for quite the epic battle.
Do you know how many minifigures or pieces are in the build total?
Yeah, it was a stretch there toward the end, but I had to hit the 700 number. So we combined with our collections, we got 700 on there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very impressive, and we'll start with the left side over here then, if you want to take us through your section.
Yeah, absolutely. So I built the left side and Liam built the right side. So starting here, you can see the clones have made an advance. We have some smoke damage of where some rounds have hit. We got heavy troopers. We got a lot of carnage leading up to this main platform area. A dead droidica there, smoke coming off the AAT, and explosion. We threw lights in there about 20 minutes before World of Lights last night, so nice addition there. We got Galactic Marines and Jedi Bob leading the advance up to the left. Not included in this mock, there is a staircase just to the left of here that would lead up there, so that's a continuation, the same as Sol. We got a Dwarf Spider Droid getting hit up there on the wall. All the way up on the top there, we have the Sentry Array, which is the planetary bonus from Battlefront 1 if you capture all of the Rhen Var maps. So yeah, we have them leading up this way. Our headcanon for this map, and to fill that space up there right through the center, you can see there's a frozen ray shield, separatist ray shield, that they are trying to thaw out right there in the middle. I tried to include that up there, and that's why the Republic's advancing now. The ray shield's offline. They're trying to thaw it out. They got flamethrowers up there trying to warm it up. But down here in the center bottom area, you may not be able to see the light in there is kind of going out now, but that includes Anakin in there talking to a Jedi Master. In the original Attack of the Clones game from 2002, Anakin and Obi-Wan go to Rhen Var to talk to an old Jedi Master and how to defeat some ancient Sith weapon that was hidden here. So that was another throwback reference there. And the catacombs are featured in the game as a command post as well. So moving on to the right here, these clones are getting mowed down by a separatist turret, and that kind of leads right into Liam's section over here.
Yeah, so clones are making multi-pronged attack. There's a lot going on over there, a lot of them getting mowed down, but we've got another couple advances here. As you can see here, they've captured this command post, and they're pushing forward. They have their trusty Tauntaun friend manning the turret right behind back here. And as they push forward, they've split the droids' reinforcements. So we've got a gunship landing with a bunch of airborne troopers and Kit Fisto leading the charge. General Grievous is trying to counter them with some Magna Guard support, but the droids are really in for it with the ATTE we've got down here. That's going to be starting to blast away at some of the remaining tanks. They've already taken out a few. I think the droids' main saving hope is a bunch of commando droids we've got in the back there. They're about to spring their assault, but the plot armor from Fives and Echo may be able to just counter that. So it's debated historical fact, but I choose to believe that the Christmas minifigures were actually present during this battle. So you can see Baby Yoda and Grogu and the regular Christmas Yoda leading the carols over there, and then over here underneath, the sacred texts were stolen and are being delivered to the conglomerate of dark side Christmas characters. So overall, we had a really great time doing this build. I think the battle here is a little bit embellished from what you see in the game, where you only get 20 reinforcements, but it was really cool to be able to bring everything to life. Like Jared said, add the lights for the explosions. One of the things we ended up putting in toward the end of the build process was the droidicas. That was Jared's call with the bubble shields. I really like that add. I think those came together really well. We've got 4 of them, so those things are going to be a pain to try and take out.
Talk a little bit more, if you can, about your approach to terrain and kind of mixing the white snow and ice effect with the gray buildings. How do you sort of balance that out to make sure there's enough of each kind of color represented?
Yeah, so on my side, I had a little bit less of the terrain issue because Liam has all that over here to the right. But from my perspective, I kind of went with more plating to signify the texture of a lot of clones running through that area, just as this main assault comes up here. And just trying to, be random with it. Reach into a bin. Hey, it's a white piece. Put it down. Most of the top surfaces are white, as you can see, kind of on the like the ledges and the walls area there. But Rhen Var, the weather's not like Hoth. It's not constant snow, so you can kind of play with it a little bit. It doesn't have to all be snowy. And then where some of the areas are where there's no snow, to save money, in white brick, I put little heat lamps around, so you can kind of occasionally see one of those, little circular thing with a yellow light to kind of signify, hey, that's why there's no snow there. It's all melted. Try to mix that up a little bit.
Yeah, and just in general, I think you can try and craft the perfect amount of placement of each piece, but when it gets down to it, that's not how weather works. That's not how snow works. Wind blows, snow falls, and you kind of just try and incorporate it as integrated as you can, but also adding a little bit of randomness. So in terms of the snow over on this side, we had last year a large amount of flat brick, and it was all snot. And that was fine for a flat battlefield, but we tried to incorporate over here a little bit more of a hill, a little bit more sloping up. So these are all built sideways, just placed right in. Honestly, they're not even really snapped in. They're just kind of balanced on some brick. So just try and incorporate that as well with a lot of those sloped pieces and rounded pieces to just give that, wind-blown effect.
One of the unique aspects of the layout that catches your eye is the architectural details over here on this left side as well. So you've got some arches, some kind of struts coming out, that kind of thing. What are some of the challenges with that, and what pieces did you use to capture some of those interesting angles?
Yeah, so I actually live in Alabama, so this transit was the hardest part for this thing. So it actually held up structurally really well. So the flying buttresses are supporting the wall a little bit. I used a lot of the slope pieces, got them on Pick a Brick Online, and just kind of had to slope those down. I played the game a lot, market research. We were telling our wives, hey, we gotta play the game to figure out what it looks like. And I would play as the Jet Trooper, and that's about the height I would use to calculate it. How high can the Jet Trooper fly? How high is that buttress? How high how high do I need to make that there? So that was a lot of trial and error to get the height right, especially how it kind of clips into the wall on the stairwell to the left. But through trial and error, I got it, and I think it turned out pretty well. But yeah, it was a lot of slope pieces, a lot of orders of slope pieces. So.
And then what are some of your kind of favorite minifigures or scenes that you've got throughout here, and where did you source a lot of these from?
Well, luckily, we've been collecting Lego for quite a while. So some of the more rare figures we didn't have to purchase, a couple we did. I think one of my tried and true favorites, I've got the original Phase 2 Captain Rex over here, about to take out that gun emplacement. Again, the plot armor is very thick there, so that's always a fun add to throw him in. One of my favorite characters. I think probably that would be the same opinion for a lot of people. So that was a good incorporation. Jared?
Yeah, so I think my favorite spot's probably up here with Jedi Bob. I mean, it's the original Jedi Bob, and Jesse, who's my favorite ARC trooper, and we got Bakara and some Galactic Marines up there. Just a little bit of difference to see that. But there's some fun little additions throughout. We do have a lot of named characters scattered throughout. I mean, here you can kind of see it a little bit. It's Waxer and Boyle, Cody, and Obi-Wan there, and yeah, there's a lot of fun little adds. Vaughn's up front there, just in front of the explosion as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so for some of the more unique characters, obviously that Lego hasn't made, Waxer, Boyle, we've got Fives, Jesse, Dogma, Echo, we've got all those characters in. So definitely had to go with some custom pieces there. But one of the things we tried to do was, because we were basing it off of the Battlefront 2 character selection, we actually went and got custom helmets for the jetpack troopers. We got custom helmets for the airborne troopers, which were the snipers. There's one or two actual clone engineer custom helmets in here as well, and a couple heavy troopers. So really just trying to incorporate as much of the realistic character selection that you could play as from the game.
Where do you find is the best resource for some of those extra custom elements?
Yeah, so I think we probably have a pretty good mix as far as the helmets from Clone Army Customs and Grandpa Clone Customs. I think weapon-wise, I want to say, I know we actually, when we got here, I needed quite a few more blasters, so I went over to Brick Tactical, and they hooked us up. There's some really good pricing on the blasters there, and they look really good. And then I don't remember, but I think you got some weapons from another vendor, Jared?
Yeah, mostly from Clone Army Customs for me. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned you're in Alabama, so you guys are in different locations. So talk a little bit more about sort of that collaboration process as this build came together. How do you communicate and share updates?
Oh yeah, so he actually flew down just before we started in May. We started in May for this one. And so we got the height of the top platform down. And so that's where we kind of started. We said, this is the maximum height. And we worked down from there. But a lot of Skype calls, a lot of video calls. Hey, a lot of pictures back and forth. This is the height. Where are you at? This is my height. So yeah, a lot of Skype calls, a lot of pictures, a lot of communication is necessary when you're trying to line these things up.
Yeah, and I think really taking a lot of pictures, trying a lot of stuff out, even just, good old pencil and paper, trying to break it down by plate. Where does your plate come until? Where do we have to put each tower? Where do we have to put each wall? We actually had some overlap. So when Jared got here, we, thanks to my wife for letting us use the kitchen and living room to display the whole thing. Somehow our kitchen table with the leaves was able to fit the whole thing. But we set it all up. That was the very first time it had actually physically been together. So we took a little time. I think there was only one section that was off by one stud placement. So we had to do a little bit of work on the wall. But other than that, it came together really well. And we were really able to just kind of take that time before we ended up coming to the convention to make the seams look a little bit more seamless, give a little bit more reinforcement so that when we brought it here, it just kind of all went together, honestly, even better than I thought it would. Sometimes with the tables, you're never sure, table, floor, all that stuff, if it's going to line up properly, but I think it ended up doing a lot better than I thought it would.
When you guys are collaborating, is there much of kind of a give and take of like kind of reining in maybe a crazier idea or, seeing what you can add in a certain section, that kind of thing?
We always consult one another, but I think we're pretty much on the same page. So I would say we're good to go. So no reining in required. We'll see. We're basing it off the maps. There's only so much you can do. So yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think that's important. I think we both come from the standpoint of we want to be as accurate to the video game as we can from one perspective, but also have fun with it. So I think the foundation is let's make it structured to what we see, to what you can play as, and then from there, yeah, I agree. I don't think there's really any idea that's not worth mentioning. And we'll talk it through and, even just the rationalization of, well, would that really make sense? Would they really come from that angle? Would they really, so just talking through those things. But I think there's a really good give and take between, and we've been friends for quite a while. We went to school together, so a lot of similar ideas, and then just really able to incorporate things really well.
Yeah. Awesome work, guys. Thank you so much for all the effort you put in here. It's been great to see you coming back to BrickFair bigger and better, so I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Thank you.